EJ Ndoma Ogar has chosen to opt out. We got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, EJ Ndoma Ogar has chosen to opt out of the 2020 season. This is me reporting this according to a source. This follows, of course, Oklahoma's 38-35 loss to Kansas State, in which the offensive line was the biggest concern and a growing issue for Oklahoma in 2020, as this offensive line was expected to be a strength of this 2020 team that's very young, but also very talented. EJ was a redshirt freshman going into this season. He played in 4 games last year: South Dakota, Texas Tech, Kansas, and UCLA, and was a really great pickup in the 2019 class, a 247 Sports Composite top 300 player, I think at 267 in the 2019 class, coming out of Allen, Texas, along with Theo Weiss. And then Trajan Bridges and Jaden Hazelwood were also headliners in that class, alongside, of course, Spencer Rattler. You could also throw in Austin Stogner. It's a very good class. It's the highest ranked class of the OU Lincoln Riley era, and the highest ranked class that Oklahoma's put together since 2010. Now, this also comes at a time when I was really pissed about the offensive line, because there's a number of issues and concerns here that have to do with personnel as much as play. Because as a connoisseur of OU football, I can tell you, anytime I see Eric Swinson out there, I'm not going to feel great about it after what I saw last year. This is a guy that couldn't start at Michigan, and now we understand why. He was really, really bad last year, so bad that R.J. Proctor had to be brought over to left tackle from left guard to relieve him. That wasn't a good fix, and in this game, Khaled, Duke, and of course, Wyatt Huber were having their way at offensive tackle, but it's so dire for Bill Bedenbaugh that he started with Eric Swinson at right tackle and eventually had to move him back to left tackle, where Anton Harrison was a true freshman, but they ran the ball better when Anton Harrison was at left tackle, if not able to keep Rattler clean when when Anton Harrison was at left tackle. So you would move Eric Swinson back over there, and then the question that gets asked about what Adrian Ely is supposed to do. And then we had needed to see Andrew Rame, another true freshman, brought in at left guard, probably because left guard's getting his butt kicked and Creed Humphrey is still getting beat up in the middle. This is a guy that a couple years ago was being slotted as a first-round draft selection and ended up coming back this year in large part because he was no longer considered a first-round selection, and he's the anchor of that offensive line and one of 2 captains on this team. You really expected his unit to be great. You're also talking about depth, and not just depth, but quality, talent at depth, for which EJ was a big part. The reason that the Eric Swinson thing is such a big deal is because there are at least 2 other guys that I believe had the talent to play that position ahead of Eric Swinson. Bray Walker and Stacey Wilkins among them. Wilkins also in that 2019 class, a guy that EJ helped recruit to Oklahoma. This is the same EJ who was baptizing people at the opening final and was just a joy to get to know and awesome to talk with on camera because, my man had to baptize him in the name of the Lord. You can find that video on this channel, and you can see he is every bit of 6'3", 330 pounds. He's got tremendous feet, and he was the kind of guy that could take over the job from Creed Humphrey at center and can certainly help you out at those left and right guard positions. So not a small thing there. Also added that Riley admitted Rattler was not comfortable in the pocket mostly all day, but specifically in the second half. With the game on the line and needing to draw up passing plays, Rattler chose sprint actions and bootlegs to try to get Rattler out of the pocket to give him just a little bit more time to throw and to see down the field. And this is a guy that has not matured into the kind of dude that can lead late game comebacks. He just did not have it to go. And the Rattler looked rattled, even as I call him Venom, hence the shirt. And it's a great game for him, all things considered. 30 of 41 for 387 yards passing with 4 touchdowns, but 3 picks and a fumble. Like, it's going to be a real roller coaster with him. But I think Oklahoma's still a better football team if he's the starting quarterback. The thing that actually really sets me off is Oklahoma rushed for just 130 yards on 35 attempts. That's not the Oklahoma standard. This is a team that rushed for over 300 yards in games early in the season last year and really was able to hang their hat on being able to run the ball really well. Averaging 3.7 yards per carry is not that. Only Seth McGowan averaged better than 5 yards per carry at 5.6, and he got the same amount of touches to run as TJ Pleasure, who got to start with 13. Thing is, Seth McGowan put the ball on the ground in a non-contact fumble. And that can't happen, right? That's the kind of thing Jay Boulware, now the tight ends coach at Texas, benched Abdul Adams for, fumbling one time, and we never saw Abdul Adams again. Last time we saw Abdul Adams, he had transferred to Syracuse, because that's how seriously taking care of the football was basically before 2019 when people tried to rationalize Jalen Hurts fumbling the football by saying, compared to wishbone quarterbacks, he doesn't actually put the ball on the ground that well. Well, even those dudes shouldn't have been putting the ball on the damn ground. You're not going to be able to rationalize to me fumbling the football. It's just not going to happen, right? It's like rationalizing racism. I'm just not going to be here for it. You're not going to have an argument with here. It's just wrong. And knowing that those 3 turnovers were the reason that Kansas State was able to come back from 21 down in the third quarter to win this game 38-35, again, underscores what you were not able to do, which is number 1, finish, and number 2, protect the quarterback, and number 3, run the damn ball. All things you got to be able to do at Oklahoma. Otherwise, we're looking at a team that could probably catch 4 losses this year if they are not careful, because Breece Hall at Iowa State, they got to go to Ames next week. After that, you get Texas in the Cotton Bowl, and Texas is feeling really good about themselves, especially after this Oklahoma loss, because it feels like that college football playoff that has only belonged to Oklahoma is theirs for the taking. All they have to do is do what Oklahoma does, right? Which is get through this conference schedule in time for the conference championship and then win the conference championship, and they'll be there. And with Sam Ehlinger and Josh Moore and Tarek Black, Keontae Ingram, and the switch at defensive coordinator where Chris Ash is calling the plays, they feel real good about their match quarters. Yeah, I could see Oklahoma having a hard time in the next couple of weeks, to say nothing of whatever Texas Christian turns out to be as they're figuring out who they are early on. This is their first week of being able to play real live football. The teams in the Big 12 are going to get better as the season goes on. Like everybody else is going to get better. And for Oklahoma to be beat by this Kansas State team that lost to Arkansas State, which is in the Sun Belt, is not a good look. And everybody who is an Oklahoma fan is right to be angry. They're also right to be terrified of what 2020 could look like. Go from talking about Oklahoma shutting out Missouri State to giving up 38 in one game to Skylar Thompson in Kansas State, and Skylar Thompson has now pulled off the double against Oklahoma. Not even a calendar year apart, less than that. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.